more than I thought.
Looks like Huck is going to be pulling back, trying to warp in more stalkers, but like you said, his stalker count is low. We cannot warp in that many more, and Idris has a seemingly endless point of blue lords coming. I mean, he's had hundreds of blue lords made in this game at the very least, and oh my gosh, Void Ray now out on the field, and it looks like there's some Xerxes in the counterattack in the main. The Void Ray is all hallucination, doing absolutely no damage whatsoever. There's a blink up onto the high ground to try to distract Idra. There's hallucinated Void Ray almost fully charged, and Idra left the game. We're just waiting for that.
Always funny to see that. Yeah, you'll have to excuse me. My voice is leaving me slowly. Just had a wonderful 40-minute TvZ that just completely wrecked my vocal box. But there's one more game that I really want to do because it looked like to have two really good players, and actually one of them is so helpful on Team Liquid, giving tons of strategies to the community, tons of replays for all of us to look at as well. And I'm talking, of course, of Mario, who's known for his mech play, especially versus Terran and Protoss. Let's go ahead and jump into this game. Alright, starting here, over in the bottom left, we have HTOMario, the mech player. And in the right, his opponent, no pushover, well known to all. Known for that ultraless drop harass, we have Roots CatZ. Yeah, this is a very interesting map. Yeah, the nice, good luck, have fun from CatZ obviously has met Mario at one point or another and does not agree with his unorthodox play, which is very interesting considering what CatZ does for some of his builds. That said, looks like we're going to have the normal 1 Rex opening, turning into mech. And this is a perfect mech for mech. Tons of choke points, lots of high ground, low ground, good space for turrets. You can put a turret here, it can cover this space and the high ground as well. We'll see what CatZ does. He's known as a very unorthodox player. I'd like to see, what kind of crazy strategy he's going to try to throw at Mario. Because Mario's a very mechanically sound player, but I do find that whenever his weakness seems to be very strange timing pushes and just really unorthodox play. Anything that just forces Mario kind of out of that comfort zone, out of that 2-base turtle mode, really gives him a hard time. So we'll see if CatZ maybe has played him so many times that he has adjusted his strategy somewhat, because I feel like the meta of the Mutaling Baneling isn't going to work too well on this map. But we'll have to see. Alright, coming out here we have the 15 hatch, 15 pull. Nothing out of the ordinary, but we don't have a gas yet. Drone able to get inside, going to be able to pick up a lot of valuable scouting information as long as he doesn't lose it. Opting to start with a Reaper first. We do have the gas first opening, which always is a nice segue into mech. Especially if you can do any kind of damage. It just forces the Zerg into that link production, which just melts to any kind of mech composition. Down over here we have the Overlord have a pretty decent position, just trying to pick up any proxy possibilities. Backup Overlord coming as well. Nice spotting for drops. And we do have an SCV on the way with this first Reaper. It's going to try to put down a proxy rack, so which we finally have an Overlord headed that way. I don't know if it's going to matter, though, because he's going to go towards the top and build a bunker. It won't matter. And he decides to do it right in front of the Overlord. CatZ gonna have lots of time to react, gonna have to pull drones, pulls 3. I don't even know what those are. Damn you, Blizzard, with your upgrades. I did not even know what to think about those. Very strange looking lings. Gonna have to cancel the bunker. Did force link production. Is still ahead. That was a very, very good move. by Mario. It forces CatZ into that really bad position. Still hasn't started gas yet. He's going to that gasless opening, which really isn't strong against a Reaper opening. As you're going to see here, he's going to try to kite back, do some damage, and eventually he's going to be able to move into a very, very solid macro game. Over here, do have the sacrificed Overlord. Gonna possibly get away. More than likely is dead, though. We do have the normal transition into a 1-1-1. Actually, before going mech, decides to wait it out. Start a 1-1-1. Do some damage. Do some contain. Go from there. Primal Zerglings unable to get up the ramp. Yeah, once these Hellions are out, it's really going to limit the vision of CatZ. And I love this spot right here because he's not going to get caught out in the normal pathing of the Hellions. He'll be able to get a nice timing. He'll be able to deny an expansion if he tried to build it on the low ground. It's just a nice place for those Lings to be for right now. Over here, go to production tab. We have still 2 gases only by CatZ. If we go over to income, only a 5-worker lead. He'd like it to be a little bit more. Had to waste all those larvae on the Zerglings, though, which are now just kind of sitting here at a spot for an expansion timing. Very strategic bunker. Seems to be more for the all-in. Not sure if it can reach all the way over here where the expansion is actually going to go. Seems to be more protecting any type of roach all-in because he doesn't have... Mario does not have any really good scouting information. He doesn't know the tech path that the Zerg's starting to go, but it doesn't matter because he's going for a drop, so he'll get all the information he needs here, damage done or not, but I think he just got spotted. Yes, he did. He's going to run into 2 more Overlords, giving him plenty of time to react. But does CatZ have any units out? I see 2 queens, 3 queens, 4 queens, 5 queens. No Zerglings out on the map. They're still stuck over here by this expansion. So it doesn't matter. Gonna possibly have some drones go down. Either way, he sees the fast layer tech, no third. Gonna have to check for a third. Gonna still get out tons of damage. Able to pop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drones. 7 drones, 8 drones, dead. Cutting the lead. 6 queens, not enough to stop this damage. Traps one of the Hellions, 2 possibly. Brilliant macro, stops him with the creep tumor as well. Tries to stop it, but it doesn't matter. He got his scouting information out. He knows that the Zerg is on 2 bases. He knows some type of timing attack is coming, some sort of fast drop. Knowing CatZ, it's gotta be a roach drop. Not known to rush into that mutilus play. Not a very micro-intensive player. And we do see the infestation pit starting on 2 bases. Going to be very interesting. All right, and Mario transitioning into his very staple mech style. Continuing to work in these drops, and these drops are just going to be doing a lot of damage to the Zerg. Terran just able to happily macro catch up to the Zerg and drones. These drops are going to have to start doing a lot of damage, though. We don't have a third down yet. But a lot of vision around his base. Good perimeter defense. Alright, going to drop the afterburners and is able to take out an Overlord. Pretty good price for sending a drop over this way. He's going to be able to pick up that third timing as well, knowing that CatZ is pretty behind on bases. Up on drones, down on bases. What that means, he's going to be very gas starved. He's got to dump his money into these very cheap Tier 1, Tier 2 units. He's not going to be able to advance up the tech tree like he wants to. Does have the infestation pit down, but again, has to produce 18 lings. Can't really do too much with pathogen glands not even done yet. At this point, Mario just playing it very cautious. He knows this left half of the map is pretty much his, barring any type of fast tech. These infestors are going to have to keep CatZ alive for a long time. And Infestor Ling is not the best combination versus mech. Tanks and Thors are just able to do so much damage. Thor's maybe not the best choice, but he's anticipating this Muta transition, especially with the 2-base play. Not too much a Zerg can do, other than this Ling Infestor. Gonna slowly transition to Ultra Lords, but it's important to know that he's gonna need almost 6 gases for that Hive Tech. So even though the Cavern's about to finish, he's only hovering around 500 gas at the moment. It's not going to be enough to really add onto his composition. He's almost better off adding some more Infestors for the utility, the defense, and almost the free harassment energy. And what I mean by that is that Infestors can indirectly engage units using their energy, which if they can kill some units, it's free trades for the Zerg, which is huge. So they're a nice bridge unit in between the early and late game tier. But unfortunately, CatZ kind of rushing without the proper infrastructure to back it up, only on 3 bases. Zerg really needs to be on that 4 base to be effective, because right now he's just matched with the Terran. And as you see, the Terran's matching him production for production, getting out mines, has amazing positioning. And the only thing that CatZ can really do is just crash headlong into this army, which just isn't going to work. No scouting on Mario. He has no idea what's going on. Doesn't even know if he knows it's Hive Tech. Doesn't. Still thinks it's Lair. Unfortunately for CatZ, he's kind of just going to run into this anti-ground army, because we don't really have any Marines or any of these units that, you know, Infestor, Ultra, Ling are really powerful against. Ultras maybe will be able to do some damage, but, you know, 1-1 on them, it's not necessarily enough to really start doing the damage, especially against mech. They're going to get bonus damage versus armored units. So it's not going to make a big difference having these tier 3 units that are unupgraded. Alright, here comes the first influx, the first wave, going to crash without any scouting right into these spider mines. And loses tons of Lings. Yes, he did reset some of the Widow mines, but at what cost? He just threw away tons of units. Units lost tab, shifting away from CatZ, or towards CatZ rather. You gotta love the new animation on these Ultra Lords. Looking so intimidating, but then you click on them and see the stats and you get really sad. 3-1. Pretty good armor, but the problem, Thor, we have doing tons of damage to that. We have the tanks doing bonus damage to armored units. So it's not really ideal composition. We have these Widow mines out here as well that are just going to be doing extra damage, splashing, killing that meat shield of the Ling Ultra Infestor. And part of the whole point of this composition is to have the Lings buffer some damage. So these Ultras in beautiful, beautiful scan here, getting perfect position of that very immobile army. How is he going to approach this? He does have the supply lead, huge supply lead. Able to siege up now on 4 bases to CatZ's 3, just not very strong macro play from the Zerg player. This high-end Grandmasters, and he's just trying to crash headfirst into this army composition that's just going to tear him apart. Yes, Blinding Cloud goes down, but we don't have enough Vipers to make a difference. Abducts aren't going to do anything because he has no substance. There's no units to kind of help do damage. And he pushes through the wave of tanks and Thors, but more coming out to reinforce. These units not even attacking, and he just easily shuts down the wave. No damage done, going to units lost. Huge swing. Kind of inefficient trade for the Terran, but CatZ is going to have an extremely hard time remaxing on 4 bases. Still doesn't have 6 gases. So as you can see, he's getting very gas starved. He has 1 more round of production left for these high tier units, and then he has nothing. Having to burn all his minerals on Lings. He runs them in. They're not going to be doing too much damage. Just wisely take out the tank, but again, loses a lot in the process. Down to 117 supply. Nowhere near where Zerg wants to be. Sensor tower wisely getting taken out. He has a little bit more mobility on the map. But as you can see, this one sensor tower right here still covers the entire